Blackbeard is one of the hardest decks to beat in the One Piece card game, and I'm going to show you exactly how to beat it every single time. Let's get right into it. Alright, so let's get right into this game right here. We're playing Red Green Law with the brand new starter deck additions against Blackbeard. So we're going second right here. My opponent passes and I go first. So I, tap 1, play the Nami, grab the 2K Brook. This is pretty much the only turn I'm going to be getting on plays. And then I tap another Nami. So I had probably the best start that I could have by having 2 different 1-cost searchers. And then I grabbed the Tony Chopper blocker. So pass to my opponent. He is now at 3 Dawn and he's swinging 6 to life. I take it. He taps 2 for the Doc Q, which is activate main, rest his character, and KO, I believe a 1-cost. And he KOs my Nami. And then he uses leader ability to trash the Laboon. So if you guys don't know what Blackbeard does by now, you definitely should. Blackbeard's ability is at the you can trash a card from hand, and then your opponent cannot use on plays for the rest of the turn. So I swing 5 into the Doc Q, and my opponent gives it to me, and then I just spread board immensely right here. I did play the Kid Killer Searcher, brand new from the starter deck, but I obviously cannot get the on play. But that's okay. When you're playing against Blackbeard, you need to go wide. That's the secret. My opponent then uses the Finger Pistol and trashes 2 to KO the Machina. Uses leader ability again. He's just deciding on which one to use, and trashes another Laboon and no on plays. So this is pretty tough because we are, a heavy on play deck. Every single card in our deck is pretty much on play. I swing 5 to lead. My opponent takes. I tap another 2 for a Curly Dadan, but I cannot get the search off. I use leader ability, tap 2 to bounce Brook to hand and play Cavendish, and then pass. So back to my opponent. This is pretty much the only thing I can do here. The only thing I can do is go wide and start swinging with some characters. So my opponent swings 5. I give a counter, and then he plays a Blackbeard, which is rest this character at KO a 3-cost or less, and he KOs the Dadan right there. So as you can see, my game plan is, and I believe he uses leader ability again right there. So I tap 3 for a Zoro. Right, rush Zoro. This is not a non-play, so he does have rush. I'm gonna swing 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna swing 10 to 8. Restand 2. My opponent gives me some counter. Then I swing 8 to 8, and my opponent gives me a 2K, and I pass. I choose not to swing with Zoro there, just because I didn't want to swing into my opponent's life to give him another card in hand. He's already running really low. He just countered a bunch to save this Blackbeard. So he uses Blackbeard ability to KO the Chopper, and then attaches all the Dawn on Blackbeard and swings into Cavendish. So I'm forced to give it. And then he plays a 1-cost blocker. So Cavendish is gone, right? My opponent has 1 card in hand at this point. This is exactly the point of the game when things should start turning into your favor. I'm going to swing 8. And my opponent is going to consider blocking. So again, I'm just swinging even numbers right here. I'm forcing my opponent to make a decision. Either he's going to give me his board or give me some cards out of his hand, and he chooses to give it to me. All right, and somewhat of a gamble. I swing a straight 8 to 8. If he did have counter in hand, that would suck, but he didn't. So he goes ahead and trashes it. He takes it and grabs a Doc Q from life off of his ability. I tap 2 to do the search because my opponent did not activate on plays that last turn. And then I'm going to grab the Bonnie, attach Bonnie to hand. And then I'm going to use my leader ability, or no, I'm going to play the Bonnie to do another search. And then I'm going to grab the blocker Law. And that's going to be it right there. And I'm going to pass to my opponent. So my game plan has been working. Every time that you want to beat Blackbeards, you pretty much just have to go wide and starve their hand. Because since they're trashing so many cards out of their hand to use their leader ability, if you deny them cards from their life by not attacking into their life, you are essentially, making it very hard for them. So right here, my opponent is clearing board. He uses Doc Q to KO one of my cards and then attaches the rest to Blackbeard and swings into Zoro. All right, so my opponent has one card in hand. I don't believe he used leader ability. I don't think I saw it, but I attach 3 to my Kid Killer and I swing 5, just making the most, getting the most usage. Finally, you know, after starving for a while, that's you kind of have to plan on when you're gonna begin your attack. I attach another 3 to Kid Killer. I swing another 5. My opponent gets another Searcher off live. He's gonna go ahead and grab, I believe, a 2K. All right. And then I'm gonna swing another 5 to life with my Nami, getting the most usage out of these cards that I have. And then I'm going to swing 6 to the rested Dock Q and pass. So that brings my opponent down to 2 life. He has what, 3-4 cards in hand. So, you know, I'm fully expecting possibly the 10 drop on this turn. He doesn't go for it. He plays the Shiryu on play, KO a 3, and then the Lafitte. So back and forth right here, right? You know, he is looking for some cards that are going to help him win this match. He grabs a Dock Q, right? So pretty much what's been working for him is clearing my board. And he grabs a Dock Q and plays a Dock Q and KOs the Nami. And then swings 7 into the Kid Killer and clears my board right after. So we went board wipe for board wipe, leaving me at 2 life, 10 Dawn, 0 cards on the field. It's looking pretty dicey, right? I believe my opponent did use leader ability too, leaving him at 1 card in hand. I'm going to play the Otama. I'm going to play the Makino. And then I'm going to play the Brook, leaving me a total of 6 Dawn left. I tap 5 for the blocker law and pass. So no on plays. You know, I have one game plan, and it's just to go wide, because if my opponent does play the Blackbeard, he could only negate 1 card on my field, which would be the blocker law, leaving the Brook, the Otama, and the Makino available if I wanted to attack with them. And then right here, I actually end up deciding that I wanted to swing into the Dock Q instead of the Lafitte, because I was like, if I leave the Dock Q on board, he's just gonna KO my stuff for free. So he does end up playing the Blackbeard finally, and he freezes or nullifies the blocker law, so I cannot use blocker and I cannot use him for attacking next turn. My opponent swings 5, I take 1 life, and he swings 5 again, and I give a 2K. And then back to me. I don't believe I saw leader ability be used this turn. I gotta do a better job of tracking it, but in the moment I knew. So I swing 5 with Brook here. My opponent's at 2 life, 1 card in hand. He takes this one. All right. Again, this blocker law is frozen, and I cannot do anything with it. I cannot attack with it. Alrighty. I use a Bakino to buff the Otama by 3, and then I attach 3 Dawn on top of that, and I swing 6 to life. Seeing if my opponent has a 2K in hand, because I don't think he'll block with the Blackbeard just for 6K. He does take that last life hit, which leaves me 1 option. If you guys know this red-green law deck, you know that you play this one specific card for this one specific reason. I play the Chopper. I use Shambles to bring out the unblockable Rush Luffy, and I swing 8 to lead a big 8, unblockable. My opponent has 0 life, and he does have a blocker, so he needs to have the perfect counter in hand, or else it is going to be game right here. Opponent is considering it, and that is going to be all she wrote. He did not have enough counter. I believe he completely forgot about the unblockable Luffy. But great job on my part for the turn sequencing right there. Swing 5 first. My opponent took that hit. Then I swung 6 to make him consider, like, damn, do I really want to use a Blackbeard block for a 6K? And he didn't. So, you know, it ended up working out in our favor. So, recap. If you're playing against Blackbeard, there are 2 things that you need to do. 1, make sure you spread board as wide as you possibly can. What does that mean? It means playing a bunch of your characters out on the field and not just trying to, you know, go heavy with 1 character at a time. Because Blackbeard has a lot of single target lockdown. A lot of times he could really only get rid of 1 character per turn, sometimes 2 if he's high rolling you. And then the other thing for Blackbeard games is you want to try to starve them as much as possible. Starving means denying your opponent resources from their life. So every time you attack into your opponent's life, they take if they take damage, they take one of their life cards and add it to their hand. right? So you're giving them a resource by attacking into their life. Blackbeard likes to trash cards from his hand to activate his leader ability. So if Blackbeard is trashing a card to use his leader ability, and then you're giving him a card back by attacking into his life, he can use that cycle, and he can use that against you for pretty much 5 turns because he has 5 life cards. So what I have been doing, what works for me, is to deny Blackbeard life as much as you can. Whenever there's things on the board that are rested, always try to attack into those to attack his hand instead of his life. Whenever you attack characters on the field, you're forcing Blackbeard players to choose to give a card out of their hand to protect their board. And then you're slowly whittling away, slowly reducing their hand size for that end game moment when they only have 1 card in hand and it's a 10 beard, and they don't want to trash it for leader ability. So it kind of gives you that option to be able to use your on plays at the very, very last turn of the game. So hopefully you guys learned something. There you have it. That was the Red Green Law vs Blackbeard with the brand new starter deck additions. I'm going to have the deck list right here for you guys to take a look at. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you guys enjoy the video, let me know as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing more videos like this in the future. And have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys later.